Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for the 11th of December. Starting with the Nasdaq today because it's got a little bit better form than the S&P. Now, with the Nasdaq here, it's also struggling as well, and we can see that its stocks are struggling as well. The trend up through here in terms of a third wave is very lazy, really. So there's a real problem with this. In terms of looking at this as wave 1 and 2, that's not a problem. And then looking at this here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and going up for 5, that's okay. And then 4 and then 5 here, that would basically finish that off from wave 4 here to wave 5, and we'll have a top in play there. So it's not extending out as much as I thought it would. Also too, we've got this sharp sell-off here has caused a bit of a problem as well. If we take a look inside this leg here, move from this daily chart to a 4-hour chart, there's also problems occurring with this as well. So if we look at this as 1 and 2 here, we can look at this as 1 and 2, and all of this is part of the same trend, nothing out of sync here until we get this drop here. The drop that we would expect for this green wave 4 here would be 38.2%. It's at that level there already. This move down through here appears to be 5 waves here, so we would look for an A and a B and a C back for wave 4 and then down for wave 5 here. So it will, if it's got any equality with this first drop, which it may or may not, we'll have to keep a bit of an eye on that. But any further down, then, well, that's even at the 50% here, and that's a 61.8% here, so we don't want an overlapping wave 1 here. If that's the case, then we've got we've got further bearish problems at that point. This moved down here. If we just have a look at Apple, probably, and we'll be tightening all our stops up on our stocks. Just trying to find Apple here for a moment. This is just on the tick chart here for Apple. So in terms of I'm just using one stock here, but looking at it in terms of, well, an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave for wave 4, and then building further to the upside, it's going okay and doing everything that was supposed to be doing in terms of wave 1 here and ABC for wave 2 here. And we can look at this as wave 1 up here, and we can also look at this here as the A wave here, and then coming back up for a B wave here. I mean, I don't particularly like spikes, but we'll have to use it. But otherwise, we'll need to put that just up there. But either way, we're already close to this 61.8% here. But what my main takeaway here is just to point out that this move here as one is 5 waves down here, even to that low here, or we have to use that one. It doesn't really matter that much, but we'll look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, back for the fourth. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, or even here to here to here. But it doesn't matter. But what I'm pointing out is that there's 5 waves here, so we should pull back to the 61.8% and then move down. I'll have to check to see what that is in this leg here. But that 5 waves down here will bring another 5 waves down in this regard as well. And in this case, it may just be the wave 2 here. But any further than that down, then we'll have to exit this, exit Apple in that regard. So we'll just keep an eye on that. But the takeaway here is that we do have that 5 waves down there, and that would affect, if that's 5 waves, then we're going to have a retracement here and then another 5 down here. So that starts to bring it down, and if it's got any equality with it, it's going to overlap this point here. So it's really going to start breaking down this particular move that we have for this market. That's my concern. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on that, because if this breaks down here, then it destroys all of this pattern here, and then we need to relabel it at that point in time. So yeah, just that's one thing. So we also need to start looking at the S&P 500 too. We've got wave, because it's just not pushing up like a third wave should. That's the thing that's been sort of haunting me, but as you know, I've just kept counting it. But it's the time coming now after that little spike down that we need to have a look at other ways to look at this market and be prepared for them. So it's okay to have wave 3 and A, B and C here for wave 4 here. You know, we've been looking at this as wave 1 here and wave 2. We've also been looking at this now as wave 1 here and coming back for wave 2 into this, so we can expect it to come back into the 35 area through here. We could end up with an ending diagonal triangle coming up to finish this 5th wave as well. When we're looking at if we look at our website just for a moment, we've got just the S&P daily chart here. It's possible that we can have this count into this triangle pattern with wave 1 here and 2 here, and then 3, 4 and 5 coming in here. That would drop back down to the 3500 area in that particular case. So anyway, that a move to 35 is quite bearish, so that's important. The other point here too is that, you know, if we look at this, we can look at it like this here as well, coming back for a larger correction here below the 35 area, because we can count 5 waves up to that point. So, and we can see that it's really struggling. So, you know, they're all alarm bells at this particular point in time. So we need to heed those warnings, and you know, if you've got a different count and everything's fine, all I'm pointing out is that it's struggling, and we've seen our first little crack in the pavement, and we can't allow that to get any worse without being on the short side of the market. So we need to talk about that today. Yeah, so anyway, that's some bigger bearish pictures at that point. So one of those pictures brings us down to 35 area through here, and one of them brings us much lower as well through here, so we need to just be aware of that. So but anyway, we've got this as wave 1, so we can still count this in a positive way going up through here. That's okay, but we also need to look at this as wave 1 here, and we also need to look at this as a possible wave 5 being in here. Now that doesn't match up with the Nasdaq, that having that wave 5 there, but you know, if we can count, you know, 5 waves from this low to this high here, there's no reason why we can't have that in there. Yes, it doesn't suit up with the Nasdaq just yet, but that might be something else. But so in this instance here, we've just talked about Apple and the Nasdaq having 5 waves down through here. So that's the same case here as well. So at minimum, what we can expect is we can expect the move down through here, and then a rally to the 61.8%, and we'll look at that, and then down again at that. So we could end up with 3 moves here as such and move up, or we could end up with a little wave 4 coming in here and having wave 5 coming down here, so having 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if that's the case, then we're going to get another 3 waves back up, and then we're going to come down again in that regard. So this is why we got to be careful here. So let's just drill in here. This is the daily chart. I was going to go to the 4-hour chart. This is a way that it can be counted as 3 and 4 here, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here, just upping at one degree of structure and having that top in place there as well. We can have it as wave 1 here, or wave 1, or B wave up here. So we've just got to be a little bit careful here. So what we're expecting here, as you may know now, is just a little rally to come into play, and then down again. Now it may just stay onto the 36 here, or roughly the 61.8% or whatever, and then move up from that point. So that would be, you know, that would be nice for the Nasdaq and keep everything into shape. But we could now use the 36 as a line in the sand now that we know that we've got 5 waves here. We're looking for a rally, and we're going to get another 5 down. But we could go up from that point and continue our trend because we're in a trend here. But anything below that 36, as a retested resistance, then you know, no matter what your count is, or no matter what my count is, that there as a retested resistance is going to bring us either down to here or going to be down much further at that point. So knowing that, we can just drill in and try to understand things a little bit more. So on the 1 hour chart, as mentioned, we can put this over here. So we can have this top here as different wave for different tops here at the moment. I'm not quite sure. It does appear from that high here on the futures market and the cash market that is the high over here, not here. So in that case, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 down here for wave 1 or wave A. And then we're looking for an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave back up into the box here, and then moving down from that point. So I'll just have a look at that on the 15-minute chart. So 1 and 2 here and 3 down here and 4 here and 5 here for wave 1 or wave A here. They've both got the same sort of equality. Back for wave 2 here as an A wave, a B wave, and looking for 5 waves up here for a C wave. Now it would be great if I'd counted this wrong here and we had all of this as the A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here. And it possibly could as well. I could be sort of wrong there. But if that was the case, we would need to have support on 37 there. So I'm just going to say it. If we get the classic trading levels pattern sitting on this level here, then by all means we can be long from that point, right? But otherwise, we need to be careful about this situation. So now that that's actually pushing up from here, I can bring this trigger here up to that level there. Now you may be able to get a better situation than that occurring in terms of, because sometimes it's a bit tricky to count those 5 waves, but if I just get this, now that we've got the low of the B wave there, we can use that. So I just want to talk about this for a moment. So just as we use that level here, that price point as a classic trading levels pattern to the upside there, we can do the same with something with this on an angle here. So we can use that in terms of, I'll just put that, well, let's just copy that. Let's just put it out of here over the way, but let's just understand this. So when this top comes in here, right, and because you don't want to get caught out and go short on the wave 4 here, because right, so this move up through here would see it when it comes down, it will hit that line and it's going to bounce back, and then it's going to come through it, and then it's going to try to retest it again, and then it's going to come down again like that. So that gives you your entry point here for that. Sometimes you just got to be careful depending where the sequence is, because it might be all of wave 1 coming down here, and then you'll get an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. So that could be the A wave here, the B wave coming back down here, and then the C wave retesting it here and then coming down. So it doesn't happen often, but it happens often enough for me to mention it, and often enough for you to be aware of it, and often enough for you to have a wider stop at that point to accommodate that scenario. Because you don't want to put your stop just in here on that. You always have to look for that double retest, just in case that's wave 3, 4, and 5 here, an A and a B and a C wave coming in here, and then down from that point. So yeah, so that's the short side of it, and of course this over here would be the long side of it at this point. So that's it really. That's about the best I can do. Yeah, So yeah, I'll just have to leave it at that, I think. This next 5 waves coming down here, one of the things that you could do, because it's either going to be wave C or wave 3 here, right? So one of the ways you can look at that is that this is the speed of the, from this top here, that's the speed of this market here, of wave A here, say. So when copy this over here and put this here, if it's going to be a wave C, it's going to be on that sort of angle there. If it's going to be a wave 3 here, then it's going to be sharper than the wave C, right? So I'll just clear that off there. So if it's sharp coming down, then you know that it's going to be a wave 3. And that what that means also too is you need to start thinking of the bigger picture as well. So if we just come back to the hourly chart for a moment, and let's say that you've got, let's just say that let's just say that you shorted it up on this level here, and we've also got this trend line through here as well. Not that it's a biggie, but it's got it here, and it's playing with it here. So at some point it will let go of that. But if this is going to be, that's there, so another 60%. So we're going to see wave 3 down here for that, right? So I'm just mapping, I'm just mapping it out so you kind of understand where you need to, what you need to be looking for in the bigger picture. Let's just imagining that we do come down a bit faster as such. So there'll be a wave 4 here and then a wave 5. So the trade would be up here. You know, it may only come down to the 61.8%, just above the 36 here. But if you notice that it comes down quite sharply, well, then it's likely to be 5 waves, and that will take us down closer to the 35 area at that point. Because at the 35, we're going to see a bounce back up here in 3 waves as well, coming back up to 36 and maybe more. So this would be the target area down through here and tracking these 5 wave structures here. You may want to take some money off the table, a percentage at wave 3 here, just shooting the breeze here a bit. And then you can look to get back in if you need to short the wave 4 here. As we're looking for 3 waves up here, we'll also look for 3 waves here as well in this space, and you can also look to move back in. So it depends on how far that B wave comes back, of how valuable it is drawing a line through this point. But you'll also need to work out the 38.2% retracement level as well for that, which looks like it will just come in at the 36 anyway, if that's going to be the case. So yeah, and then get back in and move into this structure and get out at that point, and you know, it's basically working the trade. But also too, if we get 5 waves down here, that means we're going to get another 5 waves coming down here further. So that's the problem. So look, none of this may occur, but there's just a bit of a roadmap as it does. If it doesn't occur, you know that we need to be long on 3,700. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.